Good afternoon, and the swimsuit guy is back to YouTube. As you can probably gather from my surroundings, I'm now living in Oman again, back to my day job as a swimming coach. I'm sorry for the delay in videos. One of the many reasons for this is I've only just got back to training and swimming again. So since the beginning of August when I raced at the National Championships, I've not had any races, and consequently I've not really had any opportunities to try out some of the new tech suits I'd like to review. It also has meant that some of the requested videos, such as a top 5 or top 10 tech suit video, I've not really wanted to do just yet. So I wanted to gather a slightly bigger test pool of products so these sort of videos will come, and please do leave requests. Please do let me know what you'd like to see, because I've sort of put myself in such a niche position in terms of just reviewing tech suits that it's going to be hard to always put out regular content, but at the same time I do want to try and build this channel and get a more consistent viewer base. With that all out of the way, what I can say is I'm racing for the first time this season next weekend. I will be trying out some new tech suits such as the Arena Carbon Air and Carbon Ultra, and there will be more videos on a regular basis after that. Today though, I will do the last tech suit I have yet to review from what I have tried and tested, and that will be the Hammerhead Hydroflow. So I have the Hammerhead right here. It's a suit I probably should have reviewed a bit sooner. So let's get on with it. Obviously it's a Brazilian brand, Hammerhead. I've talked about the silver armor in the previous video, so we've got history on the brand there. But this is their latest and most expensive tech suit, released just a few years back. Like the silver armor, it comes in some real funky and cool designs. This limited edition model actually has the Brazilian logo here, which I really like. I think it's a great little touch, and obviously the yellow accents replicating part of the Brazilian flag down the side. Even cooler, on the inner shell we have this sort of green, yellow and black pattern that I really like, and I actually thought that would be really cool for the entire design to look something similar to that. But this is actually a different fabric composition being on the inner shell. Talking of what fabric this uses, and it's more of that papery material such as on the Laser Elite and Chinese Vapor, where you have 60% polyamide, 40% elastane on the outside, and then that funky inner shell is a 77% polyamide with 23% elastane. Pretty simple stuff, and it doesn't feel out of this world or unlike anything that I've worn before. It is a thicker material, and I quite like that. It's not as thick as the Mizuno GX Sonic 3, but compared to Arena's Carbon Air, this is a much heavier, thicker, and less sort of malleable suit. It has tape-in and bonded seams inside. We have 2 down the outer thigh, and then we have another tape coming in towards the groin area. And it does leave a very smooth sort of texture on the outside without them sort of rigid pin seams. And hopefully that they've been placed in a slightly strategic position to benefit compression as well, but they don't talk about that, so I'm not entirely sure. Having spoken to Hammerhead and talking through what suit sizes I should get and looking at a size guide, I opted for a size 26 in the Hydroflow. Actually a size smaller than I did in the silver arm. It fits pretty well, it's tight in the right places, but offers mobility in places that I need it. Well, at first, based on its thickness, I thought this might be a little bit more of a sprint-based suit. Having worn it and raced in it, I definitely think this would be the suit that Hammerhead offer for a great range of races. I'd feel comfortable doing something longer in it, and even something shorter. The silver arm would definitely be their more sprint-based suit with that slightly higher compression rate, but this suit with its better range of movement and slightly larger coverage of the body definitely means it excels in all areas. I still wore it for a sprint race, the 50-meter butterfly, arguably my best event and the one I raced the most. I actually set a PB the first time I wore this tech suit, which at my age and at my level, that happens rarer and rarer, and I can't say I PB a great deal anymore. The PB before this was actually wearing the Mizuno GX Sonic 3, having shaved down and rested for the meet, and this was actually 2 weeks prior to my national championship, so I wasn't shaved, I wasn't rested. I was just finishing off my last bulk of work before I started to sort of ease off a little bit into the national championship. That's not to say I wasn't in great form, I clearly was, and I really did have some speed at that point. I set a big PB 2 weeks later at the national championships. Still a great testament to how this suit performs. I was really, really happy with how I swam wearing it, and I thought I was very fast, and I felt fast. It doesn't feel as buoyant as the Mizuno. I think that's more of a trait of this sort of polyamide elast composition. It just doesn't have that same buoyancy as the Mizuno or even the Finnies. Definitely felt very water repellent, and I sort of felt that sort of leverage forwards that I feel I get when I wear this sort of paper material where you can almost, maybe it's just in my head, but you can feel the water being pushed off of the suit, and that thrust me forwards at the start of the race. As I've already mentioned, the cut of this has slightly more coverage than the silver armour. While I don't feel it's too far down on my knees, we have these awesome little Hammerhead logoed grippers, so when you pull them down, it still has a nice bit of height above the knees, which I like, although potentially goes a little bit too far back on the back of the leg. I feel like this is coming all the way down to my knee crease a little bit too much, and I'd ideally like it to sort of sit a little higher without coming in too far up on my back. And again, it's only just higher than normal. I think most suits would be maybe an inch lower on the crotch, but then again, it comes a lot higher on the back. I feel like you have a lot more fabric this way than you do this way, which doesn't feel too unnatural. I think it stops the suit sort of sitting anywhere funny on your hip bones like the Finney's Vapor does, while still getting that extra sort of reach at the back. But then again, I'd much rather they just sort of done what Mizuno and Finney's have done and just sort of put the suit another couple of inches higher both ways, because that still fits really comfortably and offers that extra coverage, which is never going to go amiss. As for the price of this suit, it costs 1,350 Brazilian reals, which translated into British pounds is about 280, but I did see this being sold at Swimpath in the UK, a reseller I've never used or never heard of for researching this suit, and that retailed these at £180, but they only have two sizes left at 24 and 30, and it's now been reduced to £69. At its Brazilian real price of 1,350 reals, I just couldn't recommend this. £280 for this suit seems very, very excessive, and I don't think this offers anything revolutionary compared to many other jammers of its price. I probably would prefer this to a Speedo Laser, slightly more compressing, slightly better coverage, slightly better fit. But beyond that, I don't see it doing anything above and beyond. And to think this actually has a retail higher than the Mizuno, the Finney's, and top arena suits, top Speedo suits, I just don't see where they're getting that price tag from. But that being said, if you're a size 24 or a size 13, you can pick this up for £69 from Swimpath, well then you're getting a bargain. Absolute bargain. This would be the best £69 you've ever spent on a Techsuit. And the same goes to if you do see this coming up on any other sort of deals across the world. A suit like this, it's just that same polyamide elastane material. Yeah, it's got this cool Brazil logo, and yeah, it definitely feels like it's slightly different cut with that higher at the back, sort of shorter at the front, sort of feeling. But beyond that, I just think it's going to be hard for a brand like Hammerhead to crack into an international market without the brand recognition of something like Arena and Speedo, and at the same time not having a largely superior or largely more unique product. That's the only reason that Mizuno is now dominating the American collegiate system in terms of what men wear in their races. Mizuno is by far the most used suit at the NCAA championships last year, and it's an unheard of brand in the swimming world at the very least, but because it's offering something unique and better, people are using it. But people aren't going to use something that's on the same level but unheard of. And I think that's where Hammerhead really need to go back to the drawing board and try something new. But that's just my opinion. I look forward to bringing you a lot more content coming soon, and please do subscribe and tell your friends in the swimming community about me. It would be really nice to grow this channel a little bit more. Thanks ever so much, and I'll speak to you soon.